Who day to all those out there. Welcome back to another episode of Gridiron Jungle, hosted by your two favorite Bengal fans. My name is Kieron, with my brother Philly Phil.
Yes, sir.
So Phil, right before we started recording, we're gonna switch it up a little bit this week. It's not funny, but it's a little comical at this point. Phil, I don't know if you agree with me. Feels like we're having at least the past 3 weeks. We've had the same conversation, like 3 weeks in a row on this podcast.
You could just replay that last episode.
I literally was thinking to myself, like, we can play the last episode and just keep it moving. Listen, you know how we get down here. You know how we like to discuss the games and what happened, but it was more the same. Another heartbreaking loss. Sunday Night Football, prime time. Bengals lose to the Chargers of Los Angeles, 34-27. Tied ball game. Going into the final possession. 2 missed field goals late in the game by Evan McPherson. We officially have to call him by his government. Evan McPherson missed 2 field goals down the stretch. And then the Chargers get the ball back with help me out, Phil. Not a lot of time. 27 seconds.
Yeah,
84 yards and 27 seconds.
Yeah.
3 plays. There was a couple incompletions, but mainly 3 plays of over 20 yards. Don't even know what to say about it. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I've never seen this before. I've never seen the level of play of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, the offense. T. Higgins came back and looked incredible. Trey Hendrickson, bars are going up, and 4-7 is
T. Higgins looked like the best player on the field last night. I mean, that was the brightest spot for the Bengals, in my opinion. So
he looked incredible, man. T looked really good out there, but it's all for naught because we cannot seem to put things together. We all seen the stats by now. By the time you listen to this, Joe Burrow, 28 of 50, 356 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Chase Brown, once again, proving me wrong. He can be that bell cow. 22 carries, 86 yards. Just shy of 4 yards of carry, but he did have a good receiving game. 5 catches, 57 on 7 targets. No carries for Herbert. He was in the kick return game, but no carries for him throughout this game. T. Higgins, as you mentioned, 9 catches, 148 yards, a touchdown. Him and Jamar both had 13 targets. Jamar had 7 catches, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Logan Wilson forced a fumble. When I said I wanted to switch it up, and I'm trying to catch my words here, we know what happened. We've seen enough of these. Phil, I think we need to start having a discussion about what now. You see in the episode title, what now? Like what do we? I never thought in a million years, without injury, that our season would be over in week 11.
Yeah,
never thought it happened. Which means that we have 8 more games or 8 more weeks of football. We actually have 7 more games, 8 more weeks of football. The bye week is coming up. Would have been perfect to win that Sunday night game rolling into that bye week, but that obviously didn't happen. And Phil, I just find myself for the past 24 hours questioning, now what? Like, what do we do? Because it is national media, social media is calling for the Bengals to be called. I can't even speak. National media is really on our backs because we're wasting prime talent. And it's confusing, man. I don't have any. I'm trying to catch my words. I really don't know what to say. This is insane to me. Like, I just couldn't imagine and feeling myself listening to another podcast. And he talks about, like, if you switch out Zach Taylor with one of the Harbaughs or Mike Tomlin or Sean Payton, or Belichick or Vrabel or McVay or even McConnell, what's our record? It's not 4-7. No. I don't know where we go from here, Phil. I really don't. I don't know. Do we start sitting players for health? Like, do we start Do we protect Joe? Joe's still flexing his wrist. Do we sit him down at some point? I know these guys have pride. I'm not saying it's going to be their call, but what do we? I don't know. Can you help me out? I don't know. I don't know what this looks like for us for the rest
I
of the
mean,
season.
I never have been one to buy into tanking or anything of that nature. And I mean, we just came off the mini bye. We're headed into the actual bye. There's no reason to rest these guys. It does them no favor resting them. These guys barely play in preseason as is, which is a whole nother issue, a whole nother conversation, which I think plays a part to the slow starts. But I mean, we all know the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and expecting different results. Zach has shown us time and time again, he is not one to change things. He's going to stick to what he does. He's going to give us the same speech after each and every game, each and every offseason. Nothing's going to change there. So we can't expect the results to be different. Zach hasn't been successful anywhere that he's been. He wasn't successful as an OC in Miami. He wasn't successful as an OC with UC. And he hasn't been successful as the coach of the Bengals. As I watched Joe Mixon score a second touchdown of the game. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to
I
that.
mean,
Shout out to that first half Texans -2.5. Man, I took that line. Thank you.
I mean, wow, that was free money. But Zach has got to go. I'll be honest. He's terrible against the division. He's terrible in one possession games. And he, again, like I said, he told us in the press conference he's not planning on changing anything. So I don't know how we can expect anything to change when you have a player playing at the caliber that Joe Burrow is playing at. Joe Burrow's on pace to throw for like 40 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, maybe.
He's right now got 27 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's insane.
That's insane. That's insane. He's having his best year ever. Jamar Chase
100%.
Jamar Chase is gonna win the Triple Crown. Trey Hendrickson is leading the league in sacks, and not only I mean, yeah, okay, it's one thing to not be dominant, but like we're not gonna make the playoffs. Last year we used injuries as an excuse. You know what I mean? And what's the excuse this year? I mean, everybody deals with injuries, so.
I'm glad you brought that up, Phil. I want to talk about that real quick because I want to know just what your thoughts are on this. Because last year, playing half the season, I don't know, maybe a game less than half or maybe a game more than half the season.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Joe went down with that injury against Baltimore at Baltimore. We still finish above. Like 10 games. We still finish above 500 with Jake Browning leading the way.
Mm-hmm. We missed the playoffs by a game.
We missed the playoffs by a game, and we're not going to finish above 500 this year.
No, we're regressing.
What happened? Like, what is it? Like, do you know what? Can you pinpoint what it is? Because I can't. I don't know what it is.
I mean, if it comes down, it's the small things. We've talked about it in the past, how narrow the margin of error is, the margin of error or the margin of victory is in the NFL. And when you have a coach making the decisions that Zach is making in crunch time, just being a play caller versus being a game manager, he's never in tune with the game. It's like, he's just looking at his sheet. He doesn't know down and distance. He clearly doesn't know if he has timeouts or not, because wow, what a terrible last drive when we had the chance to win the game. And I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. But and when Evan McPherson is playing as bad as he is, those two things, that's the margin of victory there. I mean, you could really pin 4 of the losses on Evan McPherson missing field goals, if I'm being honest, and combined with the decision for Zach to even play for Evan McPherson to win the game. I mean, that last drive, it was like he set that up for Evan to kick the field goal again instead of being aggressive. And we had just scored 21 unanswered. Like, why are you settling? Why are you playing for a field goal? I just don't understand it. Zach is terrible. And I don't know, like, you know, I don't know any other time that there's been a Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel available to be had. Like those are two. I mean, one is arguably the GOAT, and I would say Vrabel is an elite head coach. I mean, he took a not so good Titans team to a #1 seed in the AFC. So
he's a culture builder. I think
yeah.
we talked about that maybe last week, a couple weeks ago. Vrabel's a culture builder. He knows how to come in and build what type of team. Dan Campbell is the best example of recent memory of a culture builder. Like, and you knew it. If you watch Hard Knocks that year, you watch Hard Knocks and everybody.
You wanted to root for them. It was like I was sold.
If you remember the infamous Jamal Williams, like when that man was crying, like just kind of talking about like, yo, man, like you look at it then and it's like, all right, man, whatever, you the Lions.
Yeah.
And then you see what he's been able to do and just how like they find a way to win games they have no business winning, as we saw with Houston. That Houston game, they had no business. 5 picks, the whole 9. Anybody else in the NFL loses that game. They still find a way to come out. And all right, we didn't play bad. We didn't play good this last week. All right, you bet. Let's make sure we correct it and show people who we are. Come out and smack Jacksonville. Smack them 52-6. They set a franchise record for the largest margin of victory.
Yeah, and they didn't let up. They kept their foot on the gas.
Because they got a purpose, man. Like they're playing to their standard. Doesn't matter who's on the other side. I don't care if that team 0-11. I don't care if they 10-1. Like, we're gonna play our brand of ball. And they can do it in the run. They can do it with the pass, the whole 9. And we just don't have any kind of culture like that. You're getting guys who are testy. I feel for Joe. I feel for Jamar. Like, I understand they're Kurt and
Trey carrying that defense by itself.
Yeah, I understand their curt answers and their annoyance because what else do you want? Like, football is such a hard sport to play and prepare for. Get your body ready, get your mind ready.
I quit playing football because of practice.
It takes so much, man, to go in and know that you're putting out. It's one thing if you just trash, but to put up MVP numbers, this might. Who knows, man? Joe's ceiling is unlimited, in my opinion. Like you said, Phil, this is his best season. Who knows, man? This could be his best season ever. That he's putting on right now. He's not even 100%.
Who? Derwin James told Jamar Chase after the game, "You the best in the world."
In the world.
In the world, Craig.
Like, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. I've never seen this before. Maybe there's some other examples of a team. Not just talent. It'd be one thing if it was just talent. You know what I mean? But they're actually producing numbers. Like, this offense is putting up historical stats as far as like some of the key players. And you mentioned something earlier, Phil, about not being aggressive. Zach not being aggressive. Another one possession game that we lose. And I'd rather get smacked. I'd rather get our face kicked in. Which what was happening at halftime? I'm like, all right, then cool. It might be time to go to bed. Then you turn it on third quarter. Touchdown. I was like, oh, snap. Defense showing up. We right back in it. Tied up game. 42-yard pass to T. We right back in it. All right, we might be able to do something. The guys woke up. They know what's up. And then just to find a way to lose it at the end, man, it's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating as a fan. It's frustrating, I'm sure, for the players.
And the way that they lost it, that last drive that we had, the way that was mismanaged. I mean, I'm probably gonna think about that all season and through the off season. Like, I was such a poorly managed last possession. It reminded me of that last possession in the Super Bowl when Zach didn't put Mixon back on the field. Like, that's what I had flashbacks of. That drive was just crazy. Like, after Joe had the scramble where he got the first down, and then they go for the bomb to Jamar where he missed him by maybe a half step. And Jamar's kind of jumping around and walks back slowly. And he doesn't come back on the field. And they're rushing the lineup. And they line up without Jamar on the field. You got 2 timeouts left. Your season is on the line. Call a timeout. Ask Joe what he saw on that. What he wants to run. Let Jamar get back in the game. But instead, they hurry up. They snap it with 1 second left on the clock. They throw a little swing pass to Chase Brown for no gain, and now it's 3rd and 10, and nothing on the next play, which leads to another missed field goal where we should have been driving to win the game and using the 2 timeouts that we had. Like, what are you doing? Did you forget about them?
Probably.
Like, probably did. It's just crazy.
So this comes down to, we know about our front office. You mentioned, Phil, you watching Joe score his 2nd touchdown. Joe Mixon has looked like the best running back in football. Top 3 for sure.
For sure.
Same Joe that we've had on our roster for the past 6 seasons, 7, I forget how many. Just don't utilize the strengths. We know how the front office goes, like I said. So we know there are certain things that we probably shouldn't expect, but what would you like to see? I don't even want to say, I know what you want to see happen. What do you think is going to happen? Does Zach Taylor, is he the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals going into the 2025 NFL or 2024, 2025 NFL season?
Yeah.
Is he the head coach?
Unfortunately, I don't think anything is going to happen. I think it's going to be the same song and dance, which that's what makes it disheartening. That's what makes it frustrating. That's what makes it
a travesty.
Yeah, because it's like, all the things, and I'm not saying this like trying to be super fan or super analyst or super Potter, but like all the things that are going wrong are things that I identified at the beginning of the season. Like, it's the swing tackle situation. Like I've been saying it since week 1. Cody Ford shouldn't be on the roster. Like, and Alex Kappa and Cordell Volson are literally putting Joe's life at risk each and every week. Like, it is crazy how bad they've been. And like that's on the front office. That is on the front office. They have not, outside of Amarius Mims this past year and going to get Orlando Brown Jr., who's hurt, they haven't given Frank Pollock anything to work with. They haven't given him any guys that he's actually wanted. It's just that's been frustrating. The corner situation, like even we talked about it last week, bringing in Xavier Howard and you don't sign him. Like, what are you doing? Now DJ Turner broke his collarbone. Now what are you going to do? You could have already had Xavier Howard in here for a week, headed into the bye, gearing up, ready to go. Now you're going to have to bring somebody off of the street. I mean, unless you're going to activate I forget the other slot corner from the practice squad right now, but you're going to ask him to play outside or play Hilton outside? Like,
sad thing is DJ Turner was actually playing a really good game.
He was playing a great game. Him and Newton both played really well.
And we need to study the CTB fall off.
Oh my God. The club, that's where it's at. It's in a bottle somewhere.
Yeah, that needs to be studied. It's insane. I just don't. Let's go back to the Zach thing. I think you're right. I've just seen enough. I know the Bengals well enough to know that he probably is going to be the coach. I just don't know how you do that in good faith.
You can't do it in good faith. And like I said, the biggest thing is he's never had success. He's never been successful anywhere. Like, the only reason why he had the 2, arguably 3 good seasons you can say he had is because of we were loaded. Like, Jesse Bates is an all-pro. DJ Reader is making a crazy impact in Detroit. Burrow is all-world. Jamar Chase is all-world. T is elite. Like, Mixon is a top 3 running back. Like, we've had talent. Like, we had Logan Wilson and Trey Hendrickson and Jermaine Pratt playing their best football. Like, like these guys. Like, if we had an average coach that year, we win that Super Bowl, like, probably decisively. It's probably only fun for Bengal fans to watch. Like, we had that type of talent, and Zach is just not like I've said it before. Zach has never said anything that has compelled me, has moved me. Like Zach has never drawn up a play or schemed anything to where I'm like, wow. Like Zach has never wowed me in any shape or form. And it's just frustrating when you look at a team this talented with a quarterback like Joe Burrow and a receiver like Jamar Chase. You can't tell me that a good coaching candidate wouldn't want to come take this job. Like you can't tell me that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Here's my thing right now. First of all, there's way too many good available coaches for us not to
Like
be losing
somebody
games.
should be lobbying for this job.
You have to take advantage of the free agent market when it comes to coaches right now and really go get somebody.
Get a head start. Go start courting them now. It's no reason to wait for Black Monday or whatever they want to call it. Like this season is over. It was Super Bowl or bust. Let's get it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get it done.
Is there any possibility? And I know you said, obviously, I know you think that he's going to be what? All right, let me say it this way.
Mm-hmm.
We're 4-7 right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we finish the season 6-11, 5-12, he's still the coach. I can't see it. I know it sounds crazy.
I think so. I hope I would. I wish I didn't feel that. I wish I didn't feel that way, but I think so.
And then, all right, we gotta. So Jamar, another front office goof,
a big goof.
Brinks truck is backing up. Like Jamar can legit.
Two of them.
Like he can legit ask for 40 a year. 40.
And I think he's gonna get close to it. I mean, I'm thinking like 5-year, 190. So I mean, I think he's gonna come really close to that 40 a year. We'll probably get 38.
Are we going to be the ones who pay it?
Yeah, I mean, I think so because this is year 4 for Jamar, so you still got the 5th-year option, and you can tag him. So we have control of him.
That's gonna get ugly.
And the Bengals aren't going to do a Tyreek Hill. They're not going to trade him. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say you don't think
they've shown that because they should have traded T. If we being honest.
I'm about to say, do you see a world where Chase is too expensive and now you just re-sign T and trade Chase?
I don't.
I wouldn't want that, but for everyone, for the record,
I might. You had to speak in two. Go ahead.
My grown self might cry if we trade Jamar. I'm not even playing. Like I might shed a tear.
Yeah, and you spoke in 2 parts. You said trade Jamar, sign like you already right there. The Bengals is that you did 2 things at once. The Bengals not doing that. The Bengals is not doing that. They just not doing that.
I just think I can't see how a franchise gets in its way so badly and doesn't know how to pull the trigger and make these changes. Because you listen to Jamar after the game, that's a competitive player that's frustrated and fed up.
Yeah,
he's putting up career numbers.
Yeah, and it's like when you and you can look at any business or any industry, it's like that giant at once that refuses to change, that refuses to kind of adapt with the times, ends up getting left behind, and they either crumble or they find a way to kind of rebuild their company back up. And the Bengals are unfortunately that organization that just refuses to change, refuses to modernize. Every now and then they give us a little hope. They build a little indoor bubble. They sell the naming rights. They do, little incremental things to make us believe that they're changing. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the same gift in a different box or in a different wrapping paper. And it's really frustrating, man. It's really frustrating. And the thing that it makes it even more frustrating is that this team deserves better. And you, I, and the rest of this fan base deserves better. You know, like we talk about it all the time when we're in Paycor and when we go on the road to these other places, how electric, how special it is at Paycor, you know, how great our fan base is. And it's just like it's like unappreciated, you know. So I or underappreciated, unappreciated, both of them. I don't know.
No, unappreciated is right. They don't. They playing in our face. This has been the first time that I've really considered. And when I say really considered, I mean like maybe 10%. So a very low number. But like really started thinking like, am I gonna keep these tickets?
Man, I
Like,
mean, I'm never
I'm,
getting rid of him. If anything, I'm gonna flip him, but I'm never getting rid of him.
yeah,
Like
they're an
never.
investment at this point. So like you said, even if I don't go to any games, I'll keep them and just sell them and make profit on them. Hopefully, make profit on them. But it's just so frustrating to have an organization playing in your face like this. I want to ask you some questions about some guys, and I want to know if you think they'll be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
BJ Hill.
Yes, I think he's got a year left on his deal.
No, his contract ends this year.
Oh, so he'll be a free agent.
He'll be a free agent. These are all free. All the names I'm about to mention are free agents.
Okay.
And when I say will he, what I'm asking you is, are we going to pay this player to stay on this
Yeah,
roster?
that one I don't know. I mean, because honestly, as much as I love BJ Hill, I view him as a rotational piece. So I think it really depends upon what the market looked like for him and what he was looking for. But I do think there's a chance that he could be back. I think they could reach an agreement. I know he likes it here. He likes playing with Jermaine Pratt, you know, his buddy. So him and Lou have a great relationship. I think he's a good fit. He's been kind of hurt in and out this year. So I think with that, he may be willing to sign a 1-year prove a deal, take a little less, and you know, kind of reestablish his market.
Yeah, because he's averaging $10 million a year. He signed a 3-year, $30 million.
Yeah, I can tell you they won't do that again.
13 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
Was his,
Bengals don't go to the third contract, so if they do, it'd be a 1-year type deal, like we kind of saw with Von Bell. I think.
Mike Hilton.
Man,
that's 4-year, 24. He's averaging $6 million, which is a steal.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. Average $6 million is a steal. $6 million guaranteed. He's on the final year. He's going to be a hot commodity. Yeah. There are going to be a lot of teams who want Mike.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him. As much as it pains me to say this, I could see him headed back to Pittsburgh. I could see them trying to get him back.
That would hurt my heart. Obviously, we talked about T. We kind of know what that's looking like.
Yeah. I mean, I do think there's a good chance that the Bengals tag him again. But I don't know if that's just me being optimistic in my love for T. But if
we don't sign a new coach, cut off. Let's let it go. Like, what's the point? What's the point? I feel what you're saying. I would love to tag him again. I will pay the percentage, but it is what it is. Joseph Osai, is he coming back?
No,
I don't think so either. We know Trenton Brown's not coming back. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that I see even worth really mentioning. Respectfully, I say that. I don't know if Akeem Davis Gaither.
Yes,
I think we bring him back. Are we going to re-sign? So. Are we going to re-sign Gesicki? We had him on a 1 year, $2.5 million, $400,000 guaranteed. I don't know if he hasn't really been consistent enough. I don't know if that's any fault of his. I don't know if he's been consistent enough to earn anything more than that. Mm-hmm. But I also don't know if he'll come back for that because I'm sure another team might pay him 1 year, $4 million.
Yeah, I mean, a part of it I do think is what the market kind of dictates for tight end this offseason. But I mean, I think the Bengals would like to bring him back. If he is too expensive, then I think they're okay with just bringing back Tanner Hudson, seeing what Tanner McLaughlin develops into, and trying to ease Eric All back in from that injury and probably drafting another tight end. So obviously you still have Drew Sample under contract. So, you know.
Well, never mind. I'm thinking about Cam Sample. So sorry. Because Cam Sample on his last year, but we don't have to bring him up. Trenton Irwin.
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe Charlie Jones takes another step and kind of fills that role. I think it could be the end of the road for Trent Irwin, because you got to think you still got Yoshi, you still got Jamar, you still got Jermaine Burton, who you hope to take that another step. Like I said, Charlie Jones, you got Kendrick Pryor on your practice squad, Shedrick Jackson, and I would imagine they draft a receiver or two this offseason.
Lastly, I just want to ask you, Von Bell.
No, gone. He could go now. I love Von, but
love Von for what he does and what he brings to the locker room. But obviously, he is not playing well.
That year in Carolina did something bad to him.
Yeah, possible cuts. And I don't know how the money looks because he signed a 4-year, $40 million deal. He's not, this isn't his last year. He still got one more year on the deal, but possibly one of those cap casualties. Sam Hubbard.
Oh, I mean, I don't see it happening just because the Bengals don't operate that way. I talk about it all the time, how weird I thought it was the way that they handled the Mixon situation. That was really out of character, seemed personal. But Sam Hubbard, as much as I would love to see him get cut, or maybe they can restructure like they asked Mixon to take a cut. Hopefully they would ask Hubbard to take a cut because he's been stealing checks for the last 2 seasons. And as much as I love him and what he's done, especially being a local hometown guy, I appreciate everything he's done. But $10 million, no, he's not worth that.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I don't know, man. A lot of decisions to be made. Most importantly, what are we going to do with this coaching situation? It has to change. I don't know what I'm going to do if Zach Taylor's still the coach. I mean, the thing possibly be excited about another season of this.
And let's look. The changes aren't going to be on the offensive side. Dan Pitcher seemed to be a great move. I love what he's doing, moving all the receivers around. And if you get rid of Lou, who are you going to get that's better than Lou? If you remember, I remember when Zach got hired back in 2019, nobody wanted to take the DC job. Lou was like option number 5. Like nobody wanted to come work for Zach. Nobody. You hear me? So, and the thing that I always ask, if we were to get rid of Zach, is anybody going to be in a hurry to give him a job? I don't think so. I don't think so.
And Callahan might give him an OC job or something.
Yeah, I don't see it. So that right there says everything that you need to hear, in my opinion. And I think the sooner that they move on from Zach, the sooner we can right this ship and be back focused on our goal of trying to win a Super Bowl while we got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in their prime.
Yeah, man. Listen, Bengals fans, we feel your pain. We understand. We apologize. We knew the season was going to be like this. Maybe we would have waited to start this podcast until next season. I feel bad coming in here every single week, and it feels like it's a repeat of what we said the week prior. We all deserve better, especially with a roster like this, with expectations like this. We couldn't sit here and talk about another heartbreaking loss like this. I feel like it's just a perfect time. It's a mid-season check-in. We'll probably have the same conversation once the season officially ends and we have a little bit more tape to see I think we'll be more solid and more firm on what exactly is going to happen, who's going to be on this roster, who's not. If I'm Jamar Chase, I don't know how I feel about coming back to another Zach Taylor offense.
No, I mean, and I don't know if you watched any of his post-game
100%
locker room comments. He's sick of Zach. He's sick of Evan. And that's what I want my star players to do. Like, I don't have a problem when you use your influence for the right things, even if it may come across a little negative. Like the right thing is to get Zach up out of there. You know what I mean? Like that's the right thing to do. And I wish that Joe would stop supporting him so much publicly. I ain't saying you got to talk bad about him, but stop supporting him. Like, stop. Like you can go knock on Mike Brown's door. I don't know if anybody else can, but Joe Burrow can. So like, get him up
Golf
out of
cart Joe.
get him up out of there. Like the
Golf
sooner
cart
we can
Joe.
move on from Zach, again, great guy. He's well. He's gonna be fine. He's set for life. He's good. He don't need to do nothing. He's straight. He done made it. He done stole enough money from us. He can go. This fan base and this team deserves a real leader, and Zach is soft as melted butter, and I'm sick of it.
Like Ray Gibson said in life, SOF capital T, soft.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't got nothing else. I just wanted to kind of talk about what's realistically next. Like, what do we do now? Like, how does this look coming out of the bye against division leading Pittsburgh at home? A game for the first time in a few years. I just feel like maybe now that I feel like this isn't going to go well for us, maybe we come out and start playing. But
yeah, that's going to feel like a Pittsburgh home game.
No, the Pittsburgh going to crowd the stadium. They travel already. It doesn't matter who they play. Pittsburgh ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump away from Cincinnati. Very similar city, both river towns.
Yeah. I know a couple people around me already sold their tickets. So.
Oh, I'm selling mine. I'm not going to that game. I'll be in town, and I'm not going to the game because I'll still be there for Thanksgiving. And I don't think I'm going. I just can't see it. I just don't see. It really depends. It's going to have to be a beautiful day. A beautiful day. I just don't see the benefit. I'd rather, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. It's just rough, man. The fact that I'm even thinking about selling a Steelers ticket is crazy. I was excited. I've been talking to you about it all year, Phil. I've been excited
about going to Pittsburgh.
Going to the game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Now I can't see myself traveling to Pittsburgh and paying for a ticket just to see us get smoked. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense, man. Like I'm already. It's just.
And the Broncos game on my birthday probably ain't even gonna mean nothing no more.
Yeah, it probably won't. I don't know if I'm gonna go. It just feels weird not to. I got Browns tickets that I'm gonna give to Corey. I knew I wasn't gonna go to that game anyway because we already saw the Browns one up here in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a Thursday night game. I'm not coming home early for that. And yeah, how many home games we got left? We got the Steelers, Browns, Broncos. Am I missing anyone?
Steelers, Browns, Broncos. No, I think that's it. Yeah, because we go to Tennessee, we go to Pittsburgh, and we go to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, right? Or am I missing a game? So I'm missing a game. That's all the home games, though. We only got 3 home games left, so it's another road game that I'm missing somewhere.
No, hold on. We're 4-7, right? It's 11 games. No, you're right. We only got 6 games left. We got 3 road, 3 home.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So we got Pittsburgh December 1st. That following week is Monday night at Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Woo. I know they want to flex that game.
Man, tell me about it. I know the week after is going to be at Tennessee.
Yeah, at Tennessee.
And then we have a Thursday night game week at home against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then
Denver at home.
Pittsburgh and then Denver?
No, we end at Pittsburgh.
We end at Pittsburgh. All right. Well, it is what it is, man. Help us out, y'all. If you're out there listening, man, please write in. Let us know what the next move is, what we should be doing. I just couldn't get on here another week. We already did this last week where we really didn't discuss the game too much.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about a great performance and what's next. Now we have another great second half performance and more questions. It's just rough right now. It's just a tough time. Keep your heads up, Bengals fans. We'll get through this like we've always been getting through it. But, man, it just sucks. It sucks to waste all this talent, man. Shout out to Bronx Tale. Sonny, for all you who are Bronx Tale fans, the movie, one of my favorite quotes, man. The worst thing in the world is wasted talent.
Man.
I think that was C's dad that said it. I don't think it was Sonny. I can't remember. Either way, worst thing in the world is wasted talent, and I feel like that's exactly what's going on with the Cincinnati football Bengals. Phil, we're going to get through this, man. I do want to let everybody know we will be taking a bye with the Bengals. So we will not have an episode next week. unless there's something clever we want to talk about. Who knows if this season keeps going the way it is? This might just turn into a gambling podcast. And I'm not laughing. That's not a joke. We have to find something to talk about that might lift our spirits.
Facts. It might not be that right now, though.
It might not be that right now either, man. I don't really want to cover the rest of the NFL. I don't know, man. We'll figure it out. Bengals got us in shambles right now.
Hard Knocks about to be hard to watch.
Yeah, Hard Knocks. No, that's going to be when Hard Knocks starts, I believe, early December.
Yeah.
When it's slated to come out, December 3rd or something like that.
Yep.
Whenever it releases, that's going to be maybe core of our content because I want to see the behind the scenes of all this nonsense.
Yeah.
I got to
see how soft we really are.
Yeah, and it's not just, and that's the thing. So I don't know how it's going to play out because it's the AFC North. It's not just the Bengals. So I don't know how much screen time we're going to get per episode, maybe 15 minutes or so, depending on how they structure it.
Yeah.
But I got to see what's going on.
Unless they flex us out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's it. That's it, man. Phil, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, man. Just another unfortunate wasted performances. Fire Zach. Man, prayers up to DJ Turner, out for the season with the broken collarbone. Evan McPherson, you a bum. And yeah, that's all I got.
Bengals fans, keep your head up. As always, we leave you with the hearty Who Dey. We will see you in 2 weeks. Peace out.
Who Dey.